Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships, and featuring the Tier VIII British Battleship, or maybe perhaps better Battlecruiser, but probably still more Battleship, here on the Land of Fire, where nothing is on fire, but everything is in orange and tan colors. So, apologies for my videos kind of being delayed in the sense that I didn't get to do this video yesterday, and then this video is more delayed in coming out this afternoon. Just a lot of things happening in life, so at times it's a bit hard to balance everything going on, and typically, of course, YouTube videos will pay for it since, you know, it's not my main income. It's only a very, very, very small side hustle income. So anyhow, the Hawke. So I did an upgraded commander build video on Saturday. I'll link that at the end of this video. So if you want to see the build that I have here, then you can find that easily in Saturday's video. Now, one of the reasons why I want to show this battle in particular is that when I tend to feature a ship, I really like having battles where I feel like I can feature all of the ship's capabilities. Now that might mean that it's a loss. It can not only just be a win, but I feel like I got to demonstrate what the ship is capable of and giving players a good idea of grasping the ship. Now I think Hawke as a Tier 8 battleship is definitely a ship worth grinding. I don't think it's a ship worth skipping over like the Nebraska, which is a terrible hybrid CV battleship. But the Hawke has got a lot of nice things going on with this line, which I will talk about here shortly as we get some nice pins there on the enemy submarine with these 4 and 6mm guns. And even though their penetrations, it's only 3,781, so that's questionable wargaming. So we're just avoiding these torpedoes, so I just DCP'd and turned out because I just didn't want to deal with them. I'll talk about the ship's features characteristics. For now, I just kind of got into this kiting position. The Hawke can do the kiting role relatively well. Because we have the submarine here, and really with the battleship, it's just not worth the time to push in and try to deal with an enemy submarine. You just often get punished very severely for such things. So we're going to try to support our clanmate Doom here, who's in the Kid. So hopefully he's, well, not hopefully, I mean the Kid is actually up to the task to take out the submarine. And we also have Sergeant Murder in the S-190, if I said that correctly. So anyhow, let's talk about the Hawke. So the Hawke has 9 406 millimeter guns. So these are like, you know, the similar caliber that you would find on the Montana, as an example. No, well, they're 4 and 6mm guns. Montana has 4 and 6mm guns, as long as I'm remembering that correctly and not saying it wrong. But the guns are a bit different. These guns have a 180-degree turn time of 30 seconds stock. Of course, you can change that around. Their dispersion is actually pretty decent. I quite like it. It doesn't feel, in terms of the dispersion, it doesn't feel too far off to me from North Carolina. Like, that's just me personally. I would have to look at the Sigma and the horizontal vertical dispersion, but it doesn't feel too different for me. Like, I am not frustrated with these guns. I feel like most times where I aim, they land, and I feel pretty confident even shooting destroyers here with the Hawke. Now, your HE shells stock 45% chance of causing fire on a target. So you can easily utilize the high explosive shells here in the Hawke, but because these are 4 and 6mm guns, doesn't mean you should sleep on the armor piercing and utilizing those against, you know, battleships, broadside, cruisers, broadside, you know, and having the 4 and 6mm guns does at least help a bit when you're dealing maybe more with the, even if you find yourself bottom tier, seeing tier 9s and tier 10s. Now, one of the things that I'm doing here, because we had the Massachusetts over here, is that I'm playing this kiting role, and I wanted to stay outside of secondary range. That's kind of why I boosted up to get further away. So the engine boost does not last super long on these, on the Hawke, unless you take the upgrade to have a longer lasting engine boost. But it does help to brake and disengage, go dark, all that type of thing. So you can see our max concealment right now is 11.8 kilometers, which is nice. So a conceal build on Hawke makes a lot of sense, especially because she doesn't have the strongest of armor either. You can kind of see that midsection on the armor belt there along the superstructure really sticks up, comes out of the water there. Also because the Citadel is decently vulnerable, as we talked about in the second, the commander upgrade commander build video on Saturday. So you really need to be mindful to do your best when it comes to angling when dealing with enemy heavy cruisers, battlecruisers, battleships, as you can eat a lot of damage very quickly here. Because you can see we have the 70,600 health pool. Now in terms of the hull, you start off with Hull A, Hull B. Hull A 65,000, Hull B 70,600, and I recommend upgrading the hull first because it gives you the additional health pool. Also, you get better AA characteristics and I believe better maneuverability, if I remember correctly. And then you're also going to upgrade for the gunfire control system, where you will go from, okay, the stats are not listed here. So our gun range right now is 18.8, and they don't have actually listed the stock firing range. So I think the stock was like, how much is 17, roughly, give or take, is what my memory's serving me. And also you have your torpedoes. So you actually get 4 torpedoes, 2 on each side that go 8 kilometers. Their speed is 61 knots, so they're not really fast, as unfortunately the enemy shore turned out a little bit there, so we didn't land that salvo. There's decent speed, 61. I mean, they're not fast by any means. And when you fire them, which you'll see us do here in a bit, they do the little squiggly line when they come out. So it looks a bit strange. But they do have maximum damage of 15,866. So they do hit pretty hard for torpedoes on a Tier VIII battleship, and just in general. And you single launch them. So that's kind of your trump card, especially as you go up for the Duncan and the St. Vincent. If you have enemy ship decides to rush you, well, you've got torpedoes. Though with the Hawke, they're not good torpedo firing angles. They're rather poor. You have to show a lot of side on your ship to the point of almost broadside if you're not managing your rotor shift time very well. So really you have to keep that in mind when playing the Hawke, that you have to control yourself, discipline yourself, not to just go full broadside just to get 2 torpedoes off, and then you get clacked instantly and dev struck. So really do be mindful of that as best as you can. So you can see with our engine boost, about 2 minutes active time with the engine boost. So really it helps. So, for now we're just really pushing up this flank here. Hawke doesn't do very well when you're just out in the open taking a lot of shots. Like, this was a map which, I mean, really with most battleships in general, like, you just don't want to push up the mid because then you can just get crossfired from either flank. But Hawke doesn't do the best in long sustained fights. Now, one of the things that she does have that helps her, despite her poor armor qualities, is that her repair party is a 60-second repair party. So it's not the standard 120 second, 80 seconds, being a minute, 20 seconds. And it's not the fast repair party like you might find in Georgia and Massachusetts being 40 seconds, but 60 seconds, so it's a 1 minute. So that is, I would say, it's acceptable and needed to have that on Hawke. Just because you can take a lot of punishment, you can take a lot of damage because you don't have the best armor scheme, even when you're looking at the I can't remember off the top of my head, the stern and the bow armor. And you just have a huge citadel that's very easy to get wrecked. So as you play the ship, you'll kind of find yourself wanting to be very conscious with your armor to not get punished. So do be mindful of that when you're playing the ship, because the armor is a definite weakness when you're playing the Hawke. So What can we talk more here about the Hawke? Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about her battle capability here. You can see we have not, I mean, people have fired at us, particularly Torpedoes with the submarine at the beginning, but we still have all of our health intact. So that's going to allow us a lot of freedom, flexibility here as we come up here, as I'm really waiting for this mine speed come out to have armor piercing loaded. And now we have the Bismarck here. You can see he's got secondaries are begun firing at us. Mains is still really staying tucked in behind the island. So we're going to angle in to deal with the Bismarck and only take very minor secondary damage, not even a full 1,000. So now we are going to get ready again for the mines. The mines has torpedoes, so I don't want to just run up right beside the island because he would just torp me to death. So my goal is that I want to keep my distance. So you have to pick your brawling engagements with the Hawke wisely, you know. And mines also has hydro, so he's gonna know when I'm gonna be pushing in on him, so on and so forth. So we're just gonna go ahead and preemptively launch these 2 torpedoes, which have just under a minute 20-second reload time. So not bad, not too shabby. But we're gonna angle out here. So, and then we got the enemy Hawke. We have to be mindful of. Here's when it comes to the mains, and so he's actually angled as soon as he came out. So we had 3 torpedo protection hits there, and with his hydroacoustic search, he's able to avoid the torpedoes. So we are going to select our secondaries, and we're going to go ahead and start utilizing the heal. And we're just going to keep angling away from him. And you can see here, actually, our Massachusetts has a fantastic broadside shot at the mains. So I'm trying to get his attention to switch fire onto the mains, because the mains can't angle to both of us. So the Massachusetts definitely got a Citadel in there, and then we were able to polish him off with just 1 penetration. So now we actually get to go up against an enemy Hawke. So I'm going to go ahead and activate my engine boost and get turned in towards him. I wouldn't say the turning circle radius on the Hawke is good. It's okay, but it's not great, as we eat a Citadel there. So it's very easy to do that, you know, even with Hawke being that 15 kilometers away, because we just have such a large Citadel that's very high above waterline. Another reason was not only did you get some depth charge action earlier, it's also the AA. So you have a defensive AA fire consumable here on the Hawke. So what does it look like going up against a Tier VIII British aircraft carrier, the Implacable? As I wish I had AP, as this Hawke goes to show me complete broadside here. Well, not complete broadside, but close to. As now you can see I actually switched to AP. So we'll go ahead and pop off another heal. We do get 2 incapacitations. With this British HE, you will often get a lot of incapacitations. You know, now we're up to 5. And you can bump the fire chance, I think, up in total till 49%, if I remember correctly. So now here there's a decision to make. So we have this Hawke pushing in, so we can shoot him, or we can shoot the Implacable coming up the A line, because he's showing us a nice side. So I have elected, maybe we trade here. I'll go ahead and I'll try to do what I can to kill Implacable, and then I can just maybe try to do a torpedo drive-by on Hawke, which he can do the same to me, or I'll just ram Hawke, not allowing him to do that. But you can actually see that we get a Citadel here on the Implacable, and then the Hawke decides to turn away, and I know he's firing torpedoes. I'm a Hawke. He is he's not doing that just for funs and giggles. So then I'm going to turn and make a very aggressive right turn here. So we avoid both those 2 torpedoes and picking up the Confederate. Now, one of the things I referenced in Saturday's upgrade and commander build video is that you can actually Citadel the Hawke from the rear, because it is a flat bottom. And here I get to demonstrate that to you. Flat bottom, oof. So we get to Citadel and pick them up. And now you get to see, again, we're utilizing our heals are coming off cooldown rather quickly, since they're 60 seconds rather than 80 seconds. You can see the AA at work here, but the CV's not making it too difficult for me because he's flying into a lot of the flak and not avoiding it so much. And the capability of these 4 and 6mm guns is to pick up the high caliber and devastating strike. So this is the best game I've had in Hawke so far. A lot of the random matches I'll have, I will land between the 100 to 150,000s. I don't mind playing Hawke in operations. That's been nice as well. So I would say don't expect amazing things out of the Hawke. I think she's a rather decent Tier 8 battleship. She seems balanced overall well to me. She's got a lot of different things. I mean, she's got definitely has more of the gimmicks going in terms of your engine boost, 60-second heal, torpedoes. Something that's quite different from the Tier 8 standard British battleship, the Monarch, or even the American standard battleship, the North Carolina. So there's just different things that they're trying to do with these different lines, so on and so forth. So I think overall in terms of the playstyle, you just have to be mindful in utilizing your stealth, utilizing the engine boost, knowing your ship's weaknesses, knowing your ship's strengths, and picking out your positioning well, like we did here in this battle that we just worked up the, I think it was at the 1, 2, 3 line. And we didn't have too much to worry about. Our team did get a good job in picking out the enemy ships in front of us as we moved up the line. So overall, Hawke is I would say, good battleship. She's been nice to play in ranked, nice to play in randoms, nice to play in operations. So I hope this gives you a good idea of the ship and what she's capable of. Again, she's good, but I wouldn't say excellent, and not bad by any means. So check out the upgrade commander build video. I have it linked at the end of this video, so you can go on and see what the build I have with our Azure Lane Commander Nelson on the ship. So if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you did not, give a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you subscribe, thanks so much. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.